and that they just moved our court date.
Really?
They said, well, we don't know what happened, but the paperwork didn't get served. Come back October.
So we got to wait another 30 days to
2 weeks.
To get it going.
2 weeks.
So apparently, even though we're live now, nobody can see us.
Well,
We're
I
having
can
all
see
kinds of
us.
problems this morning. Do what?
I can see us.
Hold on. I'm letting them know. I'm letting them know. So Avi, you know Avi from the group?
Yeah.
Look, there he is.
I'm back.
Avi, you came back. So
I'm back.
Avi,
Yeah, the video's out.
Where do you live right now?
We live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We just moved from Houston to Charlotte about 3 months ago.
Really? Why the move?
A few reasons. I mean, we've been wanting to get out here for a while. We were in Houston for about 9 years, and we've been wanting to get to the Carolinas for a while, and finally made the move right after the kids were out of school.
So I can't hear Avi. I don't know if everybody else can.
I hear him. You can't hear him at all, Spoon?
Nope.
Can anybody else hear him? Our one viewer? Because I hear Avi fine. Do you hear me, Spoon?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you fine, man.
Man, this StreamYard, we need to figure these things out, and this is how we figure them out. We just get on here and go, because we don't have anything else to do this morning. So you can't hear Avi at all.
Do you have him muted? Do you have his mic muted?
No,
you can hear him.
Avi, will you talk to Spoon?
Yeah, I can hear him, but I guess he can't hear me.
Hold on right quick. I'll bring the stream up. Avi, talk at any point in time.
All right, this is a test. Can you hear me?
Avi, talk at any point in time.
All right, this is a test.
Yes, we can hear you.
And that's weird.
Spoon, you can't hear him, so he could be talking shit about you. You'll never know.
That's all right. It'll be fine.
I won't do that.
But he can hear you, Spoon. That's the best part about this stream this morning. Is Avi can hear you, but you can't hear him. But just watch his emoticon. You see it blinking. Know that it's not your turn. So, Avi, you do rural America investing. Like that's, I mean, you got a deal. You're always sending deals, and you put leads into the Cool Kids group all the time for us to call and do our thing. What is your main source of marketing? Is it all SEO? What are you doing there?
It's primarily from Google and then a little bit of Bing, which is basically the same exact method.
Okay.
So it's inbound leads from search engine marketing is the simplest way to say it.
I don't even know what that means. Those are like $40 words to me. This morning, I want to show you this. I'm going to kick Spoon off to the side right here so you can see it. I don't know if you can see our stream or not. But you see this simple Vegas mastermind with some dates on it? I made this in Paint, and it took me about an hour because I misspelled mastermind one time. I couldn't get it centered. I didn't know how to move it around. So when it comes to SEO, people oftentimes are like, "Hey, why don't you do this thing? Why don't y'all do SEO? Why don't y'all do all these different kinds of investing or marketing?" And the simple reason is because we don't really know how. You know, if it's not broke, we don't go trying to fix it. We do direct mail and just started doing that again. We do bandit signs and we do Facebook Marketplace. And then a little bit of ringless voicemail, but even on the ringless voicemail, we're just hitting our driving for dollars leads. With you, it seems like you throw a big ass net, like the entire United States. I mean, is that just something?
That's right. I had done the full U.S. For a while. I kind of targeted to more warmer states now, where I don't really want leads up in the northern states as much, but I'll still work deals up there if the numbers make sense. But yeah, I've gotten leads from Alaska and every state.
When you do that, so you get a lead, you want to close on it, you want to wholesale it. you're doing a little bit of buying low and owner financing now.
I've been getting into that. Yeah.
There's a guy out of Miami. His name's Jory Alston. I met him at Max Maxwell's event We Live last year.
Okay.
He does the exact same thing, but I mean, he's a little bit more focused. He just does it like I think in Ohio or Pennsylvania, somewhere in there. But he lives in Miami, and he buys these little $10,000 houses like you buy, and then owner finances them for 30 or 40. It's a move that I thought we invented. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, we're the only ones smart enough to do this.
Right.
Turns out it's very popular, and we do this out in rural America. You're doing that now, or you're experimenting with that. Where did you pick up on that? Where did you decide, hey man, this is it? I want to know this answer for myself, because I want to see if it's the same way that we came across it.
Well, so it was totally by mistake. I had been getting leads. So first of all, just back up, like I've been doing lead generation for 5 years. So that was my main business. And then I realized, okay, there's more to this. When I was getting leads for deeply discounted houses, I just figured, let me go one step further and actually do the contract. And so I was wholesaling for a while, and still do. But what I realized was, when I was getting leads from all over, and mostly little towns, the numbers would not make sense for flip deals. So your typical wholesale, 70% minus repairs, minus your fee and all that, the numbers would never make sense, because I'm like, all right, well, how do I do that on a house that's worth $25,000 or $50,000? There's not enough profit for a flipper. So I became a little bit more interested in what landlords and cash flowing investors were interested in. And long story short, I had to figure out a way to deal with these cheap houses, and it wouldn't make sense to sell to a flipper. So I had to learn a little bit more about cash flow. And I think the real answer to how to crack the code on it, which I've not cracked, but I'm trying to learn on every deal, is when I started working with one of my private money fund partners. And he was like, Avi, you're missing out on trying to wholesale these. Let's just buy them and maximize the profit on them. Because if we can buy them for whatever, $15,000, $16,000, $18,000, and then sell them for triple the purchase price on a note, that's the most profitable way to do this. And I wasn't my eyes were not open to that, because I was always looking for the short term, what can I get as a wholesale check?
Well, and that's what most people don't understand. On the backside of this is, if you take a house for $30,000, or you buy a house for $10,000 and you owner finance it for $30,000, or you sell it for cash for $30,000, it shows up on your P&L as the same transaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The difference is the asset that you acquire on a cash transaction is money in the bank. What happens to money in the bank? I mean, it goes down in value. It doesn't, you're going to spend it. It's going to go somewhere. You're going to find something you want to buy. It's
right.
Eventually that cash isn't going to be in the bank. When you take it on a note, Avi's gone. When you take it on a note, it shows up on your balance sheet, and it's there until it's paid in full. So it's kind of a different transaction. We have more technical difficulties than anybody I know, Spoon. Now you're driving, so you can't hear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So you can't hear what Avi was saying, can you? Avi, you back?
Mobile.
Yeah.
I'm working through the browser. I'm pretty sure that's it. I just decided to go home and get on my computer while we're talking.
Okay, well, when you jump back on, Spoon, I'm going to add you back. You'll be the second half. All right, later. So
that was me.
Yeah,
my camera looked like it was going to work again, but it didn't. So I won't touch anything.
It's all right. But anyway, what most people don't understand is that when you sell a house for cash, you get cash in the bank, and that's great. But as far as your P&L, as far as your tax return is concerned, when you sell it on a note, the note is the exact same thing as the cash is. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit more secure of an asset, because you can't access it real fast. You can't do anything with it. The problem is on the note is you can't go buy bread and milk with a note. You know what I mean? So you have to have a balance of both. And at the beginning, when we were doing it, we always tried to pick those winners. You know what I mean? We always tried to pick the one that was going to be an owner finance. We always tried to pick the one that was going to be a rental. And then we tried to pick the one that was going to be a flip or a hotel or whatever. And it just, you'd be wrong. I mean, your crystal ball would be just a little bit off. So what we found is, if we could source the private capital to buy them, and we could source the private credit or private cash to hold the note on the backside, then we could introduce it to the market and hopefully it'll sell. And if we get the cash, we can go buy bread and milk and feed our families. If it doesn't sell, we can rent it and get it slow, you know what I mean, and get the depreciation and the tax write-offs. And if we don't want to do the repairs to be able to rent it, we could owner finance it as is and get the note on our books and get the cash flow. But then we're letting the market pick the winner, not us pick the winner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes 100% sense. And that's a daily battle with me. It's like I'm trying to figure out, how to balance the cash now versus long term. Because I still have to feed my family. So it's
how much private capital you got available?
Enough to buy a lot of $20,000 houses. A lot. Good. Yeah, more than I need. The biggest challenge is now just getting enough deals. And that I've got a couple people that have told me directly that, Avi, we're not going to run out of money. You're going to run out of deals. So just bring me as much as you can.
Dude, and I've been watching your posts in Roughneck Real Estate about owner financing them on Facebook. So my answer to how we figured out how to make this transaction was whenever we would try to resell the house, it would always, we'd have 400 people show up to owner finance it.
Okay.
I mean, they would just boom, boom, boom. Will you owner finance it? Will you owner finance it? Will you owner finance it? And, the very first house we bought for 12 grand. We put 10 into it. So we're in it for 22,000. At the time we were playing with our own cash. So we didn't have any holding costs. And anyways, and people pull up. One of them worked at HEB. The other one worked at Whataburger. So, we're not thinking, I'm thinking they're just loaded with money. And they're like, hey, would you owner finance it? And, we were asking, I think, 60,000 for it. And we're like, I don't know. I don't really know what that is. And they're like, would you owner finance it? Would you, finance it to me like you're the bank and this and that? And I'm like,
okay.
It would depend on how much money you have down. They're like, oh, well, we got 25,000 down.
Really?
And we had 22 in it. You know what I mean?
Wow.
The truth of that house is it was severely over rehabbed. The day we bought it for 12, we could have owner financed it for 35 and been done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And never had to do anything. We just didn't know that move. And the funny thing about our business, at least, is we had all of our biggest successes right at the front, which I think is because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
We did our first hotel and made $27,000 and never had to touch it. We did our first owner finance. I mean, all within the first 5 months we were in this business, and didn't revisit any of those until we went broke trying to flip houses. It was like, what, you know what I mean? Like, we're just going to keep buying stuff, and instead of and trying to fix it, make it, put a butthole sprayer in and a fancy shower and all this stuff, and then have the market completely reject it. And by the time you get, you work 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months for $5 grand, or worse when we lost 20,000. It's like, I don't care about the 20,000 I lost on that deal. I care about the 9 months it took to lose 20,000. I can never get that 9 months back.
Yeah.
Every day I was over there sodding the yard was a day that I could have been marketing or could have been doing something, but I didn't know that. You know what I mean? It was just every single month living on credit cards, trying to get this deal across the finish line. And when we finally got our cash back out of that, we lost 20,000. We had our personal cash in that deal. It was like, I'm done with this. I'm not. There's got to be a different way to make money, and that's when we started buying rentals, owner finance, and doing. We didn't come back to wholesale until, honestly, last year, about a year and a half ago, is when we started wholesaling, and then we just kind of morphed it into this. So what are you doing right now? Like right now? Yeah, I see
right
that you
now,
and you're owner financing them. You have one of the most popular posts in Roughneck Real Estate, the group, about 1 or 2.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy. I want to do more deals too, but it's just, I think everybody strives for such crazy numbers. And it's like, just do one deal at a time and then get consistent at it. And that consistency is the hardest part.
It really is. It is, because you can make so much money in one lick, and you got it. And then what do? You know what I mean? If you've never held that much money, you get a little entitlements. You let your entitlements take over.
Right.
Take a vacation. You go out to eat a little more. You let the foot off the throat, and you're not realizing that your pipeline is the most important part of this business, and you let it empty out. It takes a long time to get that momentum back.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest mistake most new people make is they make money at first, but then they lose their edge, and then when they start trying to get it back, it's not like a bicycle. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You got to be in it every day. It's always moving around, so you got to be in there trying to box with it, because right now we're not having any success on bandit signs. None. I mean, we got bandit signs that are staying out everywhere. They're just being drove by. We're not having success with them. But direct mail is absolutely killing it. And for whatever reason, there's a ton of deals in the marketplace. A ton of deals in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So we're having good luck there, but we're not going to quit doing bandit signs. We're going to keep, you know what I mean? As long as we got bandit signs, we're going to keep putting them out. But most people would say, oh, well, I'm not going to do any more bandit signs, you know, and they would just back off of it. Most people would try to go all in on direct mail because they're having success with it and go broke doing that. Like, we've made all those mistakes. So for us, we just stay consistent with what we're doing right now. For you, your pay-per-click, like, how do you find a deal in where did you have one at? You had one up.
Right now I've got the houses that I own right now are in Wyoming, Missouri, Oklahoma, North Carolina, and what's the other one? Oh, Kansas. I wish I didn't have that one.
You wish you didn't have the Kansas one?
Yeah, it's vacant right now, and it's been a real pain to try to figure out. It was a sub 2 deal, and it's, you know, I thought it was interesting because it was basically zero money to close it other than closing costs, but it's probably worth about the loan amount right now. So it's just tough to deal with, and I don't have anybody in there that's got a big enough down payment yet.
Oh, hold on, back up now. I don't look. Let's answer Andrew's question. Any plans to hit more triples or home runs? And then we'll come back to this because this one's pretty interesting. Any plans to hit more triples or home runs? Or is the current bunt and single model you like where you be hanging, AV? It's been awesome to watch you refine your model over time, bud. And I agree with everything you just said there. What like any plans to go for the home runs?
Oh, is he talking about my baseball career, or is he talking about deals? I don't know, but
he's talking about deals.
Any plans to hit more triples and home runs? Oh, bunt and single. Yeah. So I will take a home run if I can get it. Like if I'll look at every deal with a fresh set of eyes. Basically, I'm not saying, oh, I'm only going to buy a $12,000 house.
Right.
We just closed a deal in Maine. There was a $300,000 house. We got it for $140,000, and it's like I'll look at anything, and if it's a flip deal, I'll send it to a flipper. I don't know if that's what he's asking though.
Well, you got to define home run. So, like, I mean, if you make $100,000 cash liquid, is that a home run? Or if you get $100,000 in equity on a note, is that a home run? You know what I mean? Like like you would have to really like define home run, because my home run's a little different than probably y'all's home run. You know what I mean? Like, my home run right now would be $1 million move on a multifamily. You know, not that making 40 or 50 or 60,000 on a quick hotel isn't the absolute best, because that's how we get paid.
Right.
That's how we do everything. But
yeah, my home run right now is very simple. It's just any wire into my account that's over 20,000.
See, and I think for a lot of people, like, any wire over 5,000 would be a home run right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's really a definition. But, you know, for me, I don't turn any of them down. It's like girls at the bar when I was 20. I didn't have the luxury of turning down girls in. I don't have the luxury of turning down deals now. If it's a $10,000 trailer house, I know I can make money on $10,000 trailer house, whether I sell it on a note or, you know, sell it for cash. Doesn't matter to me. I know I've got to do that deal because I know how to do that deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where we just got a deal a day or two ago. Robin. It's really not. Well, anyways, we just did a deal a couple of days ago where it was like a $300,000 property that came in, and it probably would have been a great property. You could have made $150,000 on it, but I can't make that work as a rental, and I can't make that work as an owner finance. So it's not my deal. You know what I mean?
Yep, totally. Yeah, and that resonates, because I don't want to own anything that's over 100,000 right now. I will own something that I can, like, and I don't want to say I'll never change my model, but I don't want to get stuck with a big behemoth of a house.
Right. So, Spoon, can you hear Avy now?
Yeah, and it turns out I could hear him the moment you put me backstage. and you just kicked me off of this part of the screen, put me backstage. I could hear Avi all the way home. Is it Avi or Avi?
It's Avi. It's like Javi without the J.
Well, I've been saying it wrong the whole time because I'm that ass.
Oh, you're fine.
So
go ahead.
I'm gonna mute Spoon. I can't mute the girls in the office though. They're catching up. So, anyways, I've got a question for you right now. When you're doing this deal in Maine and you're doing one in Kansas,
You talking to Avi?
do you just look in the groups for boots on the ground? Like, hey, who wants to go look at this for me? Who wants to send me some pictures?
Oh, when I get it contracted?
Well, whenever you get a lead, like, or a contract. I mean, however, so you contract first.
Yeah, I will. So, a couple things. I will not send anybody to the house unless a little commercial there. I will not send anybody to the house until it's contracted. That's pretty firm on my process because I don't want to waste time. I usually have to pay somebody to go out to the house. So once I get it contracted, I'm doing that with a pretty clear understanding of what the house looks like, either from sellers' pictures or from a good description over the phone. And you can usually tell if the seller's totally full of shit or if they're being honest with me. And then once it's contracted, I'll get a property manager or a contractor or a handyman or somebody that knows what they're looking at to go to the house and get me a good assessment with, phone feedback and usually a good set of pictures with every room in the house, exterior, interior, including problem areas.
That's a big ass hairy sack you got there because I buy houses all the time I don't look at, but they're all in Texas.
Okay.
We understand Texas real estate laws. Not that I don't feel like we can learn a different trick, but they're all in Texas. We eventually go look at them. I haven't. We bought and sold a lot of houses I've never laid eyes on here lately, but it's with a really kind of refined team with people that you can trust. You know what I mean?
Right.
With you, I guess you're buying at a price point that you're really not concerned about. You know what I mean?
It's still a concern, but I had, to your point, your team that you have in place, I have to build trust very, very quickly with a property manager or somebody in that market that's a third party that I can trust to go tell me what's really going on.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, and it's not that I don't trust them. It's not that. Like, yeah. I guess we just got enough, here local that we don't have to do all that. It's a little different business model. It's a little bit more time intensive probably than yours. You know what I mean? You probably get more personal time than we do. But for us, it's like, hey, I understand what town I'm in. I understand what to do with it a little more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then the price point, and I don't have to do it. So your property in Kansas, you bought it sub 2, came out of pocket a little $0. Your holding costs. What are your holding costs right now? What check are you stroking every month?
$593.
So $593. Part of that's escrow.
Actually, I'm sorry, $593 plus like $44 in insurance or something like that. I'm sorry, $593 plus the only thing. So that's PITI, and then the only thing above that is like lawn care every few weeks.
Right. But your holding costs, not including lawn care, any of that, you've got that $593 that's going out the door. How much of that is going to principal balance? Because, if it's 40, 50, 60, 70, 150, it doesn't matter. A majority of that $593 just money that's being somewhat set on fire. And this was the hard part for me to get over. When we were doing sub 2s, we always felt like, we'd get it and there wouldn't be enough people there with money down, or there wouldn't, you know what I mean? We would get we'd be at 15,000 down. Somebody would come up with 9,000 down. We would blow them off. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, you can't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of being like, no, let's take this. And then eventually we'd have to sell it and we would get 3,000 to 5,000 down because the market speaks true and fast. If you've got people in Canada able to give you the down payment you want, you gotta think about those holding costs because nothing sucks worse than owning a house in Kansas in the wintertime if I was a betting man. Yeah. And I wouldn't want that asset sitting there vacant. ready to freeze up or a pipe break or whatever could happen. That's my thoughts on it. But if you don't want to lower the down payment, you don't want to lower the down payment. What's your objection to lowering the down payment?
I just don't want somebody to come in there and tear the house up. So I'm just I'm over qualifying people probably. I've had a couple people tell me they have 3,000, 5,000, 6,000. I would take 6,000 today. Absolutely. It's a $60,000 house.
Right.
But yeah, principal and interest is, taxes and insurance is 308, and then principal is 89, and interest is 195.
Spoon, you're not muted anymore, so we're hearing all your farts. He doesn't hear us though. No, but anyways, I would take any one of those offers. The reason why here we've done it, we've had people walk away from a $10,000 down payment on a $70,000 house that came out of their 401k 9 months in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now the house was in good shape when we got it back. I mean, it was, but
what did they walk away for? Just they were done with the house?
We have no idea.
Okay.
None. They fell off the face of the earth. We had somebody else. The two other foreclosures both put $8,000 down on $90,000 houses. Income tax money. Income tax season comes in. Everybody's got $8,000. Well, what happens next? You take the offer, and both of them, one of them walked away pretty easily. The other one drug us through a bankruptcy and everything else.
Okay.
There's some street smarts that go into the backside of this owner finance business. That once they figure that out, we still do owner finance and we don't have any problems with it. But when people figure out they can drag you through bankruptcy after bankruptcy after bankruptcy, they'll drag you through a bunch of bankruptcies and then fire off lawsuits and everything else. A savvy owner finance buyer that's like a career tenant type will make your life way more a living hell than an actual tenant that's at a property. Does that make sense? Like a tenant's easier to evict than it is to take somebody's home back without ending up in a situation. So if you ever got fear about somebody messing up the house, I don't really know how you would curb that with a down payment. If they had a high enough down payment, obviously you would think they wouldn't walk away from it. But at the same time, I don't know what town it's in Kansas. If there's not a big buyer pool, you're just kind of back against the wall.
It's Hutchinson, so it's about 30,000 people.
Oh, that's a massive town.
Just north of Wichita.
Yeah, that sounds massive. I've driven through Kansas. I've seen 7 people in Kansas.
I bet that town's got 2 Dairy Queens. That's a legit city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's probably got a movie theater and everything. So I mean, you might be right being picky with a down payment. There should be somebody there that can come up with it. Might just be the condition of the house. Another thing you could do is write it up and take the down payment on a second lien. Something creative like that. I don't know what the laws are in Kansas, but we've done it to where they've had to come up with a higher monthly payment because they can afford it. You obviously don't want to strap them to where they can't afford it, but basically they get that paid off within a year's time, and a lower interest rate second lien.
Right.
But now their PITI is a lot higher. Got to make sure they can afford it. Got to be Dodd-Frank compliant, but at the same time they'll have more skin in the game faster if they are down payment short. And if you do that, I mean, it makes it really, really good. You have a qualified buyer most of the time there because if they can afford that extra payment, they can definitely afford the house.
Right.
So, Spoon, what was your morning like? Tell Avi about our property we bought sight unseen.
When you say we, you mean you. But I can't always put down Corey. I could have taken my lazy ass over there and looked at it too.
It's in your neighbor. It's in your hometown.
Yeah, okay. I'll blame the last one on you. The last one you bought without even telling me. This one I could have went and looked at for sure. So hey, we got one in this town, Avi, that obvious. They're either trying to clean the town up or clean us out of the town. We're not sure, but this is the second one that we've been tagged on a week after. Well, the other one The third one, we didn't know about the tagging. A wholesaler kept that from me. Didn't know about the condition of it.
Okay.
This is the third house in this town that we've had to go before this fucking board on. And the second one we didn't know. We didn't know it'd been tagged.
Why did you do that to me? Oh my god.
Diana just found the snake in her bag of chips.
I can't touch that.
Did y'all hear it?
Yeah.
I'm so sad that I didn't know that was about to happen.
So yeah, this is the third one. Two of them obviously happened like within a week or two of us buying it. So it's obvious. I mean, they basically told me like, hey, we can't kick old ladies out on the street, but investors are buying them, so we're either gonna get you to tear it down or fix it up the way we want it. We're trying to improve the neighborhood.
Wow.
Well, and one of them wasn't even in the neighborhood. The other one was in. We thought at that time that the neighbor had walked over, or the guy had walked over when they were destroying his neighbor's house, and that was the reason they excited us out.
I know for sure he went over and told him to fuck off. That excuse my language. He went over and told the fire marshal, y'all, I ain't gonna be y'all's problem no more. I sold this heap of shit. It's about to fall down anyways. And they immediately tagged it the moment they had told him they waited on the closing date, saw it closed, had title, and immediately smacked the house with the tags. So it is what it is.
What are they saying you have to do to them though?
All of this stuff, everything.
All of this stuff. That's very specific. They're saying that we got to bring it up to 2019 building standards.
Okay. Oh man.
So it's a mobile home. It's on a lot. Mobile homes in Texas on a lot are protected. So they can't tell us we can't put another mobile home in there, which means that we have enough leverage to be able to bend them a little bit, because the last thing you want if you're trying to clean up a neighborhood is somebody bringing in another brand new mobile home, you know what I mean? And then start the process over that they know in 10, 15 years it's going to be back in the same condition. They would want to be able to, they would want somebody to be able to buy that and want that mobile home at the end of its lifespan, not a new one in there at the beginning of its lifespan. So we hope that we can satisfy them, which they're sending our lenders stuff too. Did you know that, Spoon?
No.
Yeah, they sent. She called me yesterday. She's like, "Hey, what's this?" It's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." She's like, "Oh, it says y'all got till December." I'm like, "Yeah, we got till December. We'll figure it out." But we didn't even get the eviction today.
No, because the city forgot, the constables somewhere in the JP's office, they forgot to handle the paperwork.
So, anyways, we didn't get the eviction. Did we start over with a 30-day notice?
No, everybody was nice about it. They're like, look, literally, they showed me. They're like, look, we filed this electronically. Somewhere there was a hiccup. It didn't transfer to get served. My bad. I talked to the constable for a long time. Super nice guy. He said, we'll have you out of there in a couple weeks. So we go back in 2 weeks to court, and then it should be the same thing. We don't have to start over.
Spoon, look at your face. There's a question on it. Do you see it?
Yeah, it needs to be replaced. Need to get a mobile home from the Mobile Home Guru's property in Anna.
What you think about that?
I don't know. Why does it need to be replaced?
Well, it don't matter. Or don't I smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
Where's Anna, Texas?
What's that?
Where's Anna, Texas?
Anna, let's find out.
I think, I can go over here right now and search it up, but I think that's right in our wheelhouse. What'd you pay for it? Homerio? I can't say your name. I'm bad with names. I'm bad with reading. I'm actually a bad reader. So, Avy.
Yeah.
Wyoming, Kansas.
It's just north of McKinney, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's close. Yeah, it's up there. It's between McKinney and Sherman.
I had a crush on a girl that worked for the city of Anna. I seen her one day, met her. And,
I think it'd be easier to if you just made a list of the girls in Texas you haven't had a crush on, haven't dated, stuff like that. If you made a list of that 7 girls and put it up there, and my wife better be one of those, like you put that list on the wall, it'd be a whole lot easier for us to remember stuff.
Look,
and
I'm just
conversation.
I was working in McAllister, Oklahoma. I was driving back and forth. There was a bar at the Best Western that had a, so we'd all stay at the Best Western and we'd walk to the bar, get hammered. And I met a girl from Anna, Oklahoma there, or Anna, Texas there at that bar. And I fell in love. Look, I can't help it. That night, that same night, we had a driller get arrested. He was butt ass, like he got into a fight inside the bar, then ran to his hotel room, got butt naked, so he could try to pretend like he was asleep. They arrested him naked. He gave the police his fake name that he hoed around on his wife with. So he got arrested under an alias because he was naked, didn't have any ID. And when he had to call his wife to try to get him out of jail, that's when she found out his fake name. He had a fake book with it, all kinds of crazy stuff. This was one of the best nights of my life. Now, I remember it because man did this. So it makes sense that it's Georgia McKinney.
Avi, do you feel like that's like 30, 40 seconds of your life you can't get back?
No, I was looking at a lead for Hutchinson, actually.
He's going to go buy a lead right out from underneath us. So,
No. I was looking at a lead on my Hutchinson deal. I just had somebody come through Facebook.
Oh, man, I love it. Avi, when I asked you to come out to Vegas, be a part of our mastermind, teach us something about SEO, about all of this virtual wholesaling. Are you down? Are you not down? I got you on my board back here in the back. I've got Avi needs a sitter.
That's exactly right. You can give me a babysitter, and I can go take my wife to Vegas with me. Then I'm probably in.
But I mean, I don't know how we pull this off, but
I like your style, Avi.
Thanks, man.
That's exactly what I told him. He's like, "You coming to Vegas?" I'm like, "Well, if you can find a babysitter for my 4 kids, and I can take my wife."
We got to rename the orgy bed apparently. Spoon. So tomorrow's show might just be over finding a new name for the orgy bed. Nobody. Do what?
I like it.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I don't get why you have a problem with the name, Spoon.
I don't have a problem with the name.
You said it. You said, "Hey."
I said I think you're selling this as a frat party instead of a mastermind, which because you have followers with wives, you might ought to think about that marketing ploy because everybody's up for a good time in Vegas.
I mean, I get your side of it. I don't think I'm marketing it as a frat party, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know because I'm not on the other side of the marketing. I just don't know, and I'm trying to pull it up right now.
So Avi, I didn't hear the first part. You're mainly just virtual?
Yeah, I've never, other than the houses that we've lived in, I've never bought an investment property that I've seen actually or touched.
I love
it. It wasn't intentional. It was just kind of how it played out, and I was like, all right, well, this is cheaper and easier.
Sure. That's awesome, dude. I drove 1,500 miles a week, and this dude's sitting around in his underwear and flip flops making deals. I love it.
No, I got nice shoes and pants on and everything, even though you can't see me.
We've lost everybody's camera from this stream, so I don't think it's your problem.
No, it's I've been having an issue on for some reason. I can go on FaceTime on my MacBook here, but I cannot get on. It won't allow access to my camera on this StreamYard.
Now, Corey, I want you to know Avi, I'll tell you how jacked up I am. I've spent the last 3 days. I scanned 195 receipts in last night.
Okay.
I didn't do any accounting for 2 years, and now I'm having to fix that problem. But I found a lottery ticket here, Mega Millions, from sometime in October of 2018, Corey. And if this one comes in, we're gonna be rich.
Don't those expire?
I don't know. I think there is an expiration. I just thought it was funny that I found it.
That's awesome.
Obviously, I was really counting on that to happen.
You know what's funny? So I've got, anyways. I don't really know what's going on with our stream right now.
I think Corey just likes moving the people's faces around on the screen.
I wish that was the case. I wish I could make y'all's faces come back, but I can't.
Well, I can see you. I can see me. I would be willing to bet. I'm watching the live stream right now on my computer as well. I can see both of us. We just can't see Avi.
Really? So
yep.
be picking my nose. I'm trying to find our house right now.
Anyway, so hey bro, I got Sydney showing up to get all these AC started up today. We got one of the ones ready because my guy went AWOL last week. So we should have 2 ready as soon as I get the carpet redropped in one this week. Obviously, you know where I'm at on the pallets that we just dealt with today. I'm going to Whitley's sick. I'm trying to get with her to get all of the leads we previously had, and go from there. So that's where I'm at, man. I got a lot to do. I got to go to the bank here in just a minute. Then I got to go spell mom from a baby with a fever for a few minutes so she can run to town and pick up groceries. But other than that, that's what I got going on today.
Well, I appreciate the rundown, Spoon. Now you've got a new project. What are you going to name this bed?
I think we call that the ambassador suite.
The ambassador suite? You
Yeah.
think this bed right here was built for ambassadoring?
I think so. Anytime you're putting multiple beds together, to what you're trying to, we could call it the Trump suite.
The Trump suite. You think that would sell more tickets?
I think when I think about the accusations of him with those Russian strippers, this is the kind of bed that I think that they used.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think Trump peed on Russian strippers on this bed?
Or vice versa.
Get a better mental picture than orgy bed. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't know. I think you could just leave out any kind of orgy description and just tell everybody, like, I'm the boss. This is my room.
But hold on. What if out of the 30 that it says it'll sleep, okay? What if 7 are in this bed? Which 7 are going to sleep in this bed?
I can tell you which one of us is not going to be in that bed with you.
I mean, this might be the office staff. Hey, Ashley, are you down to sleep in the orgy bed in Vegas? Not with me, but with like Whitley and possibly DJ.
Yeah.
Ashley says she's down as long as in the Whitley, Whitley's the meat in that sandwich. So she'll have to spoon DJ and Ashley.
Sweet Jesus.
That mental picture just got you rocked right now. You got your body rocked on it, Spoon. You can't handle it. So I can't see myself anymore, so I don't even know what's going on.
my God.
Good or bad. I have no idea what's going on with this thing. So anyways,
Holy shit. That's rough.
let me remove you from the stream and add you back.
I'm here, man. I can see both of us on the live stream.
Well,
You just
hey,
can't see it on your end because your connection.
I need to be able to see. I need to be able to read your face to know if I've gone too far, Spoon.
Oh, you did.
When I see it going down, I know it's time to go some other direction. I want to show y'all something, and then I'm going to call. We've gotten a bandit sign call since we've been on here, so I'm going to call it.
Oh, maybe an emergency. Stuart Miller called me.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. He never calls me unless he needs something.
I think he was calling you probably see if you want to go fishing. So this is a bandit sign lead that we got this morning, and I want to show y'all this because I put it. I go to Propelio. Obviously, look it up. He's got it listed for $215. Okay. The pictures won't show up on here, so I had to go to Zillow. And I'm not going to go back to Zillow because I don't have it pulled up and all that. But this is what I was able to do with REI Pro, which is the service that we're actually going to cancel. I was able to go look up his loan amount and see that it's a VA loan. He's obviously motivated to sell. He wants to sell. He wants to move back to Pennsylvania. He's got it listed. The problem with his house, at least from my point of view, was the pictures. And I went to Zillow and looked at it. And they didn't take professional pictures. It was just a messed up. I don't even know where I ended up at. But anyways, it was just a messed up situation where they had put pictures of his house online and didn't even, I guess, his grass wasn't mowed. There was like 40 different things that were wrong. And I was like, dude, you need to fire your real estate agent and hire somebody that's going to take the listing seriously. Here it is right here. I mean, look at this. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
And so, people talk about wanting to help sellers all the time. This guy would have let me sub to his house. Like, he was like, I don't care, but that ain't going to help him out. What's going to help him out is get a real agent that's going to give him I told him put in the listing that you'll give a concession for paint on the inside because nobody likes puke yellow.
Yeah, that's over. I haven't seen that since I had a 1972 Chevy.
Right. I said, get a real estate agent that's at least going to move the dog crate and not take cell phone pictures. And you know what I mean? Like, stage this out, unplug this, maybe turn the lamp on. I don't really know. But I was like, dude, this isn't the way you take pictures of a house. I think the shower curtain obviously doesn't go there, but maybe that's to cover up the windows. I don't really know. But, these lights are, I'm not a real estate agent, but when I look at this, I'm like, you're not going to get the number of showings that you're going to want with these pictures. This paint in this room, your son loved it. The next buyer, probably not going to love it. So you need to let them know that you're going to take care of the paint so they'll focus on the floor plan and the neighborhood and get off of this shitty ass paint job that you love so much. Is that wrong for me to say that, Spoon?
No.
I mean, he wanted my opinion. He got it. I mean, this backyard's a little bit better. Needed a weed eater here. But, I just, if I'm a real estate agent, I'm not taking pictures of this. Not until he gets this weed eating done. Obviously get his edge up. So the people that out there, I mean, when you get calls from anybody, anybody out there that's going to give you a call, you say you're here to help. I gave that dude a shitload of advice, but from pulling up Propelio, I pitched him on sub 2, but his motivation was not there to warrant sub 2 transaction. It's just not. He's not moving, immediately. He's just selling so he can move. He's not behind on his mortgage. Just because I had the ability to say, hey man, I'll take it off your hands right now. And then I go in there and get rid of the puke paint color and turn around and sell it for the $215 trying to get it. I mean, it's just not ethical. So I gave him some good advice. Spoon, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like I didn't pay attention to my family's needs, or do you think I gave the guy right? No, I mean, for real, because I don't think we could make money on this. Honestly, it's a shit deal at 150. At 150 and 215, there's no meat there.
Dude, I turned down the deal like that yesterday. I got one for 185 as a new wholesaler. They wanted they wanted 185 for it. The ARV was 215. They're like, but it doesn't need any work. And I'm like, no house doesn't need any work. So I could have went over and tried to renegotiate that deal and take it down, but I gave it away. So there happened to be another wholesaler standing beside me. And I said, hey, y'all go run that down. See if you can help them renegotiate that.
185 divided by 215. It's a nice little 86% deal there you passed up on, Spoon.
Yeah, I passed up on that one. That was the exact math that I did.
Mine's a 70% deal if it's all correct, but there's no, you want to know why your house ain't selling, bro? It's whoever the fuck painted that yellow in there is, get them to come back and paint it a normal color.
So one of the first things I learned when I did my very first flip house in 2001, 2002, somewhere in there, was that people don't have imagination. They don't want to come into your house that has blood orange paint on the wall or blood red, black beams, sky blue ceilings, and walk in there and have the imagination that you did. They just, what are you laughing at, dude?
I'm laughing because you're giving an example from.
No, this was on my house. That house had blue. Blue.
Can you hear me now? I'm on a bandit sign call.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You called me about selling a house.
Yeah, one of your associates had showed up on Sunday, and I just didn't know if y'all were going to be able to buy the home that he sold.
Oh yeah. Is it
I found it.
it's the double wide in Kaufman?
Oh no, I don't have a double wide. This is an actual house.
Where at?
but it's at 1549 Holland Acres. But the gentleman told me that y'all could only do like 40 to 50,000 for this house, and I can't sell it for that cheap.
Right. What do you need for it?
I'd like to try to get 110.
Yeah. If he looked at it and that's the offer that he made, then that's the offer. What I remember about that house was, for some reason, I got my wires crossed. I'm thinking it's a mobile home, but it's an actual house.
Yeah. So while he's doing that, Avi, I'm assuming you're still on, or I'll talk to everybody else. Look, sellers don't have imagination. They want tan or they want gray. Best advice I ever got. That house had a blue toilet, a blue sink, a blue tub, and blue tile. And we left the blue sink, toilet, and tub, and the old people that bought it went back with subway tile. That house was a Montgomery Ward's kit house. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, Avi, but back in the day when you out here in the rural areas, you could order a whole house from Montgomery Ward's or Sears. They would ship it on a train. You go down and pick it up with your wagon and bring it home and put it together. So
I agree. They don't have the imagination, and they typically don't have the money to do it either.
What's that?
People typically, buyers. You're saying buyers don't have the imagination, right?
Well, so here's the thing. If you want it, you can walk into any gray box and be like, hey, yeah, I want to put my own flair on here. They can hang up some doodads on the wall and stuff like that. You can't walk into a house with a Jesus crucifix painted on the wall from floor to ceiling and be like, you know what, Nana's picture is going to look good right there. Like, you don't, I mean, it might, and that may be your deal. I've seen houses with like a giant altar in the middle of the house and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm going to go to Christian church, but most people can't wrap their mind around what your idea of perfection was.
I totally agree. And I'm just saying that as an addition to that, they typically don't, even if they could be creative about what could happen and all the paint and redecoration that has to happen, they typically don't have the money to fund it either.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and that's yeah, Ryan, I dropped the F-bomb. It's been a rough morning. Oh man, that's funny. I'm just not catching up on the live comments here. Well, we need to rename this the Avi and Jason show because it's now y'all know how a conversation with Corey goes. Every phone call with Corey goes. He'll drop off right in the middle of the phone call and do something completely different. And 4 minutes later, he'll chime back in like you had nothing better to do during that time.
Yeah, right.
It is what it is, dude.
You guys doing this every morning?
I guess so. He informed me of that last week.
There you go. Nice.
But it is what it is. We just get on here. I've actually found it really convenient because me and him live so far apart. It allows us to run through our deals really quickly, whatever issues are being had for the day, and just move on down the road. It's caused a lot less. It's made it where me and him have had to have a lot less phone calls because over the course of the hour or so, like all the issues come up. Oh, hey man, what about that house? The ones you would have forgotten about. So,
right.
Super convenient.
Yeah.
Nobody else may care. It may be the most boring thing in the world, but
I love it. I watched a few of them and I enjoyed just listening. I learned a lot from you guys. So thank you for doing it.
I appreciate that. I mean, we all, the great thing about this community is I'm going to have to go back and listen to the first part of your stuff from earlier, but knowing Corey well enough, watching his face on the way back, I'm sure I'm going to learn something from you too. Because I spend as much time with him as I do with my wife. So,
there you go. You live in Groesbeck?
No, I live in Cleburne, Texas.
How far is that?
2 hours from Groesbeck. I live by Fort Worth. He lives on the other side of Waco.
Okay, got it.
So it is what it is. It's minorly inconvenient, but this is very good. I am just so happy. Andrew says, Shalom, Avi. That's pretty funny. the I really enjoy our community so much because we have so many smart people that have so many different angles. I don't really participate in the other groups on Facebook anymore. When I got tired of all the drama, and I muted everybody. I froze everybody. There's one in DFW that I still interact with, like Steve Glasgow's. It's a wonderful group.
Yeah.
I mean, every now and then I'll dip in the Propelio one, but I just want to get in a knife fight every time in wholesaling houses leader or wholesaling houses full time, and nothing against those groups. It's just it's easy to end up in an argument in those places. So I just don't interact. And it sucks because there's a lot of newbies in there that need help. But what I found in our little group, we have a community that's while we're brutal in the sense of like, no, that's stupid, that's a dumb idea. Everybody's still willing to help and talk to each other.
Yeah, that's great. That's why I participated in it. It's really refreshing to see that.
Well, and while Corey's got he's got his Vegas mastermind deal here on. I don't, that. Well, you're muted, Corey. We can't
have with your clothes on, Spoon. Clothing off.
Yeah, sure. While there is stuff that I mean is. I don't know what's the right way to say this. We're like the most anti-guru establishment possible, but
I've noticed
you're selling Vegas masterminds. At the same time, we just don't allow the bullshit. Like every time some scammer comes into the group, like they get smoked out like quick. Nobody gets to exist in that group without being smoked out for whatever.
Spoon.
Spoon. Yeah.
We got $60,000 not in our bank account right now. In our bank account right now because of that Vegas mastermind. If it makes 1 red cent,
I don't think you make money on it. That's not my point.
It will all be given to Emory's Playground. The Vegas mastermind is straight up. Like here's what happened. I feel the need to explain it now because I didn't hear what y'all were talking about.
So I'm just trying to drop off. I wasn't trying to tee you up here. I wasn't trying to.
You missed the best conversation with a seller in planet Earth because y'all went off. This lady is batshit fucking.
You muted your mic. We couldn't hear you.
No, I know because she was giving me the address again so I could look it up on Propelio. And you took off and took over the show, which is what's good. You should have done it. But I was talking about hookers and cocaine with this bitch, and she was on board with it. And I pitched her on sub 2, and she's on board with it. But Cody Creamer is going to go list it. It was absolute the most Coreyism negotiation ever. This is the house that Lewis went and looked at the other day. You remember? You drove down the street, had me convinced it was a shit box. For some reason, I thought it was a trailer house.
I didn't look at anything like that.
It's that trailer house neighborhood in Kaufman.
Oh, that's a terrible house.
I get it. She owes 68. Luis offered her 40. Okay. She was asking what would happen if they took the 40. Well, would that be 40 that they got, or would they still have to pay the 68? And I was like, well, here's how that works.
Yeah. Is that house worth 100? Maybe.
I don't know what the fuck on the open market. It don't matter. You're missing out. So he offered her 40. What did she want for the house, Spoon?
She wanted 150 for it.
She wanted 150. Lewis offered her 40, and she called us back today to find out if the 40 would go to her or not. Okay. When I told her no, that she would have to pay the mortgage off, she's like, well, that'll be fine. I'll pay the mortgage with it. What happens to the remaining balance of the mortgage? Okay. And I was like, no. That's not how this works. We don't just write you a check so you can go blow it on hookers and blow. You know what I mean? This check will never touch your hand. So if you owe 68 and we're only willing to pay 40, the only thing we could do is take over your payments. But that's not going to solve your problem. Your problem is you want 12 grand. You want 12 grand in your pocket. That's what you've told me on this call. You need to call this guy right here, Cody Creamer, and list it. But you missed all that, and I ain't mad at you for missing it. It was a good conversation.
How can you be mad? You muted the phone. So
I had to mute the phone. I didn't know what his deal was.
I remember the deal. Now, this is a house with the sinkhole on the side of it and then missing floors. So he called me. He was like, "What do you want? What do you want me to offer?" I said, "Offer what you think's right." Lewis is pretty good at that. So I figured.
I'm not upset at the offer.
Yeah,
The reason why I muted my mic is so I wouldn't dox a deal if it was actually a deal. You
No,
know how mad you would be if we doxed the deal?
listen, I'm not mad at you when you're the one muting your mic. Like, we had no choice in that.
I muted it so you wouldn't get the address. It's not that big of a deal. It was just some Facebook gold on there.
I want to fight about it.
Well, we're close. We're close. Poor Avi's like, fuck, I don't know what I got into.
You don't even know what an argument is. You hang out with us long enough.
I feel honored to be a part of it, guys.
Oh man.
What, I honestly don't even know if we take it sub 2. I just want Creamer to get the listing. He's going to shit himself if he wastes a bunch of time on this. Now, I hope he's watching or tuned in to know that he might not need to waste a lot of time on this one. But explaining the Vegas Mastermind.
Hey man, can I drop off to go take care of some stuff?
You got to take a dump?
No, I need to go take care of some stuff. I got to go to the bank. I got to help my wife with this sick kid. We got some stuff to do before.
Well, I got to you teed me up for the Vegas Mastermind. You got to listen to it now. You got to know where it's coming from. So Carlos and them did their interview with Grant Cardone. I immediately call RJ Bates and he's like, "Hey, do you want to split a Grant Cardone interview with me?" He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, Grant, like, you have to be recommended by somebody for Grant to even take your interview. I said, but then you have to pay him for it. I don't know what it costs. So long story short, I get involved and start looking at suites to 10X Growth Con so I can get Alex Grant that's in Roughneck Real Estate. I get on the phone with him and I'm like, hey, here's the deal. I want to buy a suite to 10X Growth Con, but I want to also get an interview with Grant. So we haggle around and we come up with an agreement and we buy the suite. Okay. That suite was $35,000. Okay. Did you hear me, Spoon?
Mm-hmm.
$35,000 for the suite.
Yep.
Right?
And you get a free interview.
Yes. Yeah, a free $35,000 interview. So then I'm like, all right, so this is where the $35,000 came from because everybody needs to know where this $35,000 came from. I'm selling my old truck, my track hoe, and my RV. Okay. Old truck, track hoe, and RV. What was I selling that for, Spoon?
$1,000.
No. Why was I selling it? So you don't even listen when I talk.
You were selling it to buy a new truck.
I was selling it to buy a new truck. So where did the 35 come from? My new truck. So I said, fuck with this new truck. I'm going to interview Grant Cardone. I'm going to interview Grant Cardone with the truck money. But now I've got a 10-person suite at GrowthCon. There's only one of me. And I was thinking, well, I'll take Spoon. I'll take the team. We'll all go out there. It'll be worth it and this and that. And somebody said to me, why don't you sell the tickets to the suite to try to get some of your money back? I was like, I don't know. I didn't think of that. And somebody else was like, why don't you make it a Roughneck Real Estate event and get some of your friends to come with you? Some of the guys that are in Roughneck Real Estate. So I reached out to Avi and I was like, hey, this is a good idea. The problem is, at least the disconnect for me is, you've been around me enough, Spoon, to know. You know how I feel about these things. Do I think I can bring $5,000 worth of value to people's lives within a set amount of time in Las Vegas? Have I brought $5,000 worth of value to your life, Spoonie?
Absolutely.
You saying that most sarcastic way ever.
No, no. It's like I tell people all the time. Like, I mean, we would be broke on the curb right now.
So broke on the curb. But for me, it's a real struggle. In my own mind, would I pay $5,000 to hang out with me? And the answer is always a resounding no, because I already have access to me. You know what I mean? Like, I already get to hang out with me. So why would I pay to hang out with me? But then I get to really thinking about it. Like, really, 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 really thinking about it. What's the value going to be at 10X Growth Con? Do you know? Have you thought about it?
I think being trapped in a room with a lot of smart people is always a good way to get a lot of value.
There's going to be millions of dollars in that room. Millions and millions and millions and millions of disposable income in that room that I'm going to go just like bonkers in that room. Like, what I'm going for from this, like, the mastermind is going to be the mastermind. The one day, if Avi comes out, Danicito, I think, agreed to it this morning. I've reached out to Skip Genie, Larry, and asked him if he wants to come. I've asked Donnie Ruffin. Donnie Ruffin committed, but I don't know if he's got it on his schedule yet or not. So I've got to reach back out to him. Okay. And the last person is Jason Palliser, the 2-day blueprint guy. I reached out to him. I'm trying to get people that are involved in Roughneck real estate all in the same room, but it's not even going to be like, for me, it's not going to be the quintessential mastermind, which I guess that's what everybody else thinks about. But that's like, we're going to get in a limo the first day we get there, and we're going to drive for dollars and slam bandit signs out of a limousine. Spoon, did you hear me?
I did. You're going to put bandit signs out of a limousine. I'm talking to some of the people here in the chat.
So we're going to slam bandit signs out of a limousine. We're going to door knock out of a limousine. That's going to be the first day. Then we're going to go to a dinner. The second day is going to be the breakout session mastermind, which is where it's really hard for my mind to work it into what it looks like. But what it looks like for me in my mind is me stealing from Avi's ideas and taking and seeing what I can implement from him doing the same for me doing the same from Danicito, Donnie. And so you get a lot of different types of businesses in the same room that function in completely different ways. And they start robbing the bits and pieces from each other's businesses that they can implement. And if I'm a new person that's wanting to just get started or learn, I get to witness this process. Not only that, I get to go off to different breakout sessions with these people and pick their own brains and see what I can add to my business. So if you're deficient in owner finance, or you're deficient in multifamily, or you're deficient in virtual wholesaling, or you're deficient in lead generation, right? You get to hang out and around all of these people that are more efficient than you are. Where are we deficient at, Spoon?
Where are we deficient at? Right now?
Well, what do we not do? What do we not do well?
Oh, I think we're getting better at a lot of stuff.
Right.
I mean, we're getting significantly better in a very short time on a lot of things.
I agree.
We
suck at follow-up. We suck at pay-per-click advertising. We
SEO.
suck at follow-up again. Do what?
We suck at SEO. We probably suck at Facebook advertising.
Suck at Facebook advertising, right? We're like a 3-trick pony. We've got several closings. So who would you want to be around? What kind of, where you're at in your business right now, do you want to be around somebody that's going to teach you how to do 90 deals a month or 100 deals a month?
Man, that's so far out of my realm of existence. Like, it'd be nice to think about doing 100, huh?
Exactly. You would need the capital to back it up or anything like that. So if everybody's like, man, I'm doing 30 deals a month, I'm doing 40 deals a month, I'm doing 50 deals a month, I'm doing, all these deals a month because deal flow matters. If I'm the person that's just trying to do one deal, I'm trying to do a deal, right? It doesn't do me a lot of good to get around the person that's doing 90. There's so big of a disconnect in between 1 and 90 that it's not even funny. The person that's doing 90 has $150,000 a month marketing budget, maybe even more, maybe even closer to $200,000 marketing. And most people don't have that kind of scratch to their name. So how could they drop that load? So what would it be like? You've got to, if you're going for business, you've got to touch, like, you got a 100-chapter book. You can't just go from chapter 1, skip to chapter 10, go to chapter 27 and skip up. You've got to at least speed read every chapter.
Well, the only thing that can get you from 1 to chapter 100, like you said, you have to speed read it, but you have to have the capital to back it up. Capital and the ability to take a big loss is the only way you can skip that kind of learning.
Which means you got to be able to know how to make capital, which means you got to be able to get the first deal across. So getting the first deal across is easy. Most people that are going to be at this mastermind or going to come out to Roughneck Real Estate are going to at least done 1 deal, 2 deals, 3 deals, 5 deals. They're going to be trying to get more consistent, more exit strategies. And we're going to bring a group of people together in that room that are good at both, that are good at all of it. I have a lot of respect for Jason Palliser. Like, I know that people see us go back and forth in the group and think, oh man, these guys must hate each other. I have a shit ton of respect for that guy, mainly because what you said at the beginning, like when we vet gurus, we vetted the shit out of that guy. We've slapped him every time he's posted something for a long time, and he would come back with answers. He would come back with help. When they would post what the cost of their program was, most people like, hey, how much does this cost? And people want to keep it a secret. He never was. He was always answering upfront. It costs 10 grand. This is what I do. Avi, do you teach any SEO? Do you teach anything at all? I mean, do you want to plug anything while you're on here?
Oh, I don't want to plug anything. I have some clients that I've worked with and continue to work with, but I'm trying to do less and less of that and more focused on deals right now. But yeah, I've helped people with their own inbound leads for sure.
Dude, something that happened to me. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see. Oh yes, here I am. I can pull it straight up. I want to show you this because this was very, very, very shocking to me when it happened, and it made me sad. Like it made me real sad. So I'm gonna share this screen while we have Avi on here. So look at this. This is zoom in right here so everybody can see it. I tried. Back in May, I attempted to run a YouTube ad to try to grow Roughneck Real Estate, the group, okay, and my YouTube. All right. Now, as you see, I didn't have any success with it early on. Like nothing was happening. It wasn't spending any money. It wouldn't do anything, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just watching YouTube videos one night and putting this together. So it rocks on. And I finally got it broke down to how much it cost me at any given time. But I never even saw these bills hit. Never saw any of this. And the other day, whenever I come in and I was looking at the YouTube analytics after one of these shows, I was like, dude, we're getting 1,000 views an hour or something. Like that's never happened. Where's that coming from? And it was coming from the little ad video that I put on here. And it spent obviously $121 in one day, but I'd forgot about it. Like, you know what I mean? And it just took off like a rocket. And I still don't know, this is where it was showing this. I don't understand enough about Google ads, obviously, to even know why any of this would happen with no changes to the original ad that I tried. You know what I mean? And I don't know anything about it, like nothing. So why would an ad go from doing absolutely nothing to doing a little bit to going back to nothing, something, nothing, something, and then just boom, like spend $121 in a day? Like
it's just been on the whole time?
It's just been on the whole time.
Do you have any other campaigns running or just this one?
No, this was my only attempt at a campaign ever in the history of.
Click campaigns for a second on the left.
Okay.
And then scroll so I can see down a little bit below where you're at. Okay, it's paused now, so it's 100 a day. Huh.
I paused it because it took off and spent. Well, at the time, whenever I first saw it, this ad spent $1,000 and I didn't know it because, I guess we're getting billed from Google. I don't really know.
Yeah, Google will not charge you until it hits the 500 threshold. Or first time is $350, and then every billing threshold after that is about 500, I think.
Right.
So yeah, if it didn't spend for a long, or it didn't charge you for a long time, and then you all of a sudden hit the 500 mark, it probably dinged you.
Well, and that was it. Like it dinged me that day. The day that I paused the ad, it dinged. But it said $1,000 had been spent. But anyways, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I have no idea why this happened to me, and I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty unique. I was like, dude, like the people that get into the backside of this, because I just tried to do it for one deal, and all I tried to do, because I don't even know where to go to show you, but all I tried to do when it did that was, the only thing I wanted to do with that was I wanted to advertise on Propelio's channel and Max Maxwell. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Those are the only two that I wanted my ad to show on, was Propelio and Max Maxwell. I had one simple goal, and I didn't care if it cost me like, $7 an ad or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to spend X number of dollars on getting on Propelio and Max Maxwell's deal to try to grow the group and try to grow the channel. Like these are people that I already interact with. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to do it. And anyways, it did not do that. Out of all the videos where it showed, even though I had it set up to just show on theirs, it didn't show on either one of their channels. So anybody that has your skill set, all I'm saying with this is anybody that has your skill set has a very valuable skill set. Because
well, check this out. Go back. Do you have the screen open still?
Yes.
I'll show you something cool we're doing with buyers right now.
Okay.
If you go click on the video campaign, over to the right where the paused video campaign 511-219. Left.
Right here.
No, right under where it says campaign, basically the main campaign title.
Okay.
No,
It's
go to the right. Go to the right. Right there.
Here.
Click on the blue link. Okay, now I'm going to show you something pretty cool. If you scroll down on the left-hand side to audiences.
Over here?
Yeah.
Audience?
Yep, click audiences. Is this the only YouTube ad you've ever done just for the group?
Yes.
Okay, if you ever want to test it out for buyers, we're doing this right now to get buyers coming in who want to owner finance and are looking for like a handyman special. Click on the little pencil, the little blue pencil. You can actually target people. Select an ad group, and then ad group 1. Where the green button is. Now scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you real quick what I have. Okay, go back up to the top, and then hit browse. Okay, now go down a little bit. What are they actively researching or planning? These are called in-market audiences. Right there, click on that. And you can actually pick people who are like wanting to buy a house. So scroll down a little bit. Go down, there should be a real estate section.
Yep.
Hit the little carrot, the drop down on it.
Hold on. This one?
Yep, to the right. And see what the options are.
Commercial properties, moving and relocation, and residential properties.
Okay, now hit drop down residential.
Okay.
And now you can basically pick people who are interested in residential properties for sale. So check that one, or you don't have to do it now, but that's one.
No. You know what you just did for us? Because right now I'm about to go, because you got residential for rent right here.
Yep.
I'm about to make a YouTube ad.
Yeah.
Right now. Jacob, he's carrying water. I'm going to go make a YouTube ad and run this everywhere that we're trying to rent. So you can set a location too, I would guess.
You can do it. Yep. You can literally do it by zip code, by radius. It's highly, highly targeted.
I'm about to put, we've got the GBT Investments. We're going to make the GBT Investments YouTube channel today. And we're going to figure this one out on how to get leads for the rental properties, because that is that's going to be huge. I don't know what kind of ad spend. I mean, obviously it's not going to rip off a bunch of money because you're you know what I mean, you're only paying for it as it uses it.
You're doing it basically, it's a cost per view model. So every time somebody views the video and they do not skip the ad, if they watch it for at least 30 seconds, you're going to get charged. And for that, you'd probably want to do like 10 cents per view is plenty. So it's very, very cheap.
So how did you get started on Google? Like who taught you? Did you just learn this by, fiddling around with the computer and making it work? Or did you take a guru course yourself? What was your deal?
So my business, I started my business December 2014. So about 5 years ago. And I learned how to do lead generation from organic Google traffic. That means non-paid, Google search results. And yeah, there's one guy in particular that I learned from that still teaches people how to do that. But I had a lead generation business for 5 years, and then over time I learned different layers. Like, okay, how do I get leads from YouTube? How do I get leads from XYZ?
Well, that's awesome.
You try to leave the stream early on this one with this to-do list.
What's that?
You tried to leave the stream early.
I'm still trying to. I got stuff to do, but I'm sincerely interested in what Avi has to say here, because we have there's so many rabbit holes you can go down in real estate, right?
Yes.
Now, Avi, it sounds like Avi did it the right way. He picked one thing and he's like, all right, I'm doing this. He did SEO, he did organic traffic, and then he's like, all right, you know what? I got this down. I'm going to add a little tool into my tool belt here. I'm going to put a new screwdriver in. Went and found something else. Then he went and found a pair of channel locks and put it in there and started stacking out his toolkit like this. A lot of people don't. A lot of people try to do everything all at once, and that's what I did. That's why I was failing when I started. I know somebody right now that I think is caught in that cycle. They're caught in the cycle of trying to do everything. With all that said, what would your suggestion be for somebody that wants to do what you're doing? I mean, most people can't jump in a car and drive 1,500 miles last week like I did, or 2,000 like Corey did. How do they get started doing what you're doing? Did we lose Avi?
No, he said the heck with you, Spoon. Your question was too long.
I think he pulled the pin and popped smoke, and he's gone. He's right out the back of the plane.
He'll be back. But that's a really good question, Spoon. If you want to know how would they do what I do, I've got a great suggestion. You know what it is?
Hello. You there?
There's Avi. Avi, how would somebody get started doing what you do?
So let me ask it a different way. I have a lot of people that ask me if they could do Google, get leads from Google, and I usually ask them, well, what are they doing right now? And they're getting, either they're not doing anything or they're getting pretty good results from something else. And I'm like, well, don't stop what you're doing. Just do more of what you're doing, or get off your ass and do something if you're not doing anything. But to get started doing this, I mean, there's a lot of detail to learn in Google. So just learn from somebody that knows what they're doing.
Well, I just showed y'all. Like, one fucking ad cost us $1,000. Didn't produce anything that I can tell.
I want to throw this out here, and I think Avi and Corey will agree with me. So I don't know if you heard the whole analogy I was putting out there, Avi, but because you dropped off. There's if you're new in this business, you're a new guy, you're a new girl, and you're wanting to do this. When you're building a house, you don't pick up a hammer and hit a nail and run around the house and grab a crowbar and just start smacking stuff with that. You got to learn to swing a hammer first. Like, you got to learn to do one thing. That one thing may be just measuring for the journeyman you're working for and telling him how long boards are cut every time. There's a lot of things. You learn one thing. It doesn't matter what your trade is. You learn one thing. You learn how to do it well. And then you grab another thing and make that part of your toolkit. Once you've got that down, and you can do it consistently, day in and day out. So
I don't even think that. I that's where I like, when you can do it, that's great. You can do it, right? I can do a lot. I mean, I can cold call, door knock. I can do any of those things. Okay. But which of those is going to pay me the most, the fastest? One. Two, once I get money, am I going on vacation, or am I scaling and hiring and bringing somebody else on to help me? You know what I mean? It's not a, can I get around people that are good at the things that I'm bad at? Like, too many people want to be around people that are good at the same things they're good at. Spoon, me and you are not good at the same things.
No.
We're just not. And it took me forever to get one deal made in paint this morning. So I need somebody. I shouldn't have wasted my time with that, but I had the time this morning, didn't have Emery, so that's what I was working on. Those things that you're talking about, once you get good at swinging a hammer, okay, you need to be able to teach somebody else how to swing a hammer, and then bring enough value to them that when they, you know what I mean, when they need you, you're still there.
Well, that's how you know. I mean, at that point, you become the journeyman. You're running 2 or 3 people. Then you become the business owner. You're the GC. Like, I mean, you get. I mean, that's how I think about these things. But if you're good at swinging the hammer, and now you're good at it, so you don't need to do it no more, and you just walk away from swinging the hammer, and you go on to roofing or electrical or whatever, and you don't get somebody to swing the hammer, now you just got to swing the hammer and do the fucking roofing. It don't work.
It don't work. The man hours are the man hours. Somebody is going to have to swing the hammer, and somebody's going to have to do the electrical. And if you're that somebody, you just double stacked your plate.
I disagree. Like, because my whole thing I was arguing about is just for new people. All I'm saying is, if you're brand new and you need to know where to start, don't start doing, hey, I'm going to put out 3 bandit signs. I'm going to write 3 letters. I'm going to make 3 phone calls. I'm going to go talk to 10 people down here at Dairy Queen. Do one thing, like go put out 200 signs, and then make that part of your week where you're putting out 200 signs every part of the week, and then find something else to do, which for Corey would be making 100 phone calls a day, and make that part of your stack. Once that's part of your stack, it becomes part of your. Go ahead.
That all takes money. That all takes money.
You think cold calling takes money?
No, you just said do bandit signs first, then come back and cold call.
It doesn't matter what it is. I'm just saying, whatever that is, do one thing well.
You don't have to do it well. That's the part that people get so fucked up with. When you're new and you don't know what to do, right? So you don't know what to do. Your new and my new were 2 different news. I was new with $200,000 in the bank, ready to go. So I bought 3 houses the first week. Okay. That was my new experience. That's not the same experience for your new, Spoon. You couldn't go buy 3 houses in a week because you didn't have 200 grand lying around. So the action was there. Like, I didn't get good at any of that stuff before I got out from underneath it. I got terrible at it, as a matter of fact. I went and did it, though. The new person that you're talking about, after they make 100 calls, they might not even be able to find 100 phone numbers, okay? So then they go door knock 100 doors, okay? They might not be able to find 100 motivated sellers. They might go drop 100 letters while they're knocking 100 doors at the same time and put out 100 bandit signs, but all of that takes capital and it takes time. And a lot of people are working full time. You'll never be the best. You'll never, well, I can't say that. I would say that rather than, oh man, I'm going to put out these 200 bandit signs. Now I'm broke, so I'll do nothing because I got to get good at bandit signs. I would say whatever you can afford to do, fucking do it all and do it all in. Don't hesitate on, like, if I go buy 1,000 bandit signs because I can afford bandit signs, right? Don't go put out 200 bandit signs in one night and then not go back the next night because you didn't get any calls. Okay. If you buy a list and you're going to mail it and you're going to do the 5 mailer deal and you mail out your first batch and spend that money and you don't get any calls, don't stop sending letters. Send the whole 5 and get through it. If you got spare time during the day and you can figure out a place to get phone numbers, then cold call. But you until you know what you're good at, you won't even know where to go. You know what I mean? You won't even know what to focus your energy on. For me, I was great at bandit signs. I was great at it because I loved it. Avi, have you ever put out bandit signs?
No.
I mean, never had to. Spoon, whenever
I gotta go, man. I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not sorry, but I do have to go. I can't stay on anymore. Avi, it was a pleasure talking to you.
You too.
I would love to argue with you. Huh?
I want to finish this argument.
I don't want to. We could have had this argument an hour ago. It's the old bait and switch, the Corey bait and switch. We'll start arguing about this in 10 minutes. We'll be on to another subject.
This is true. This is why the show is popular.
To hear ourselves talk.
But the only disagreement I have in that is I think Spoon's on the right path that you got to do, but there's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
If you got more hours in the day to do more stuff, you need to be doing more stuff. You don't need to be good at cold calling the cold call. You don't need to be good at licking envelopes to send mail.
Right.
You just need to be in it. Like, whatever you can afford to do, when you go, you need to go all in, go for broke. Because, I mean, with you're doing a very technical job, but you didn't get it perfect the first time, did you?
No, not at all. I test stuff every day.
Yeah, that's it's very hard. I mean, hell, our bandit signs are out right now. I was excited that we got that call while we were online. Ended up being somebody that we made an offer on, following up with us to see if we're going to actually buy their house. Maybe Creamer converts it into a listing. Might not be worth his time with the description that they're given, but maybe he does it. So what else? What are you gonna work on today, Avi?
Oh man, I got an inbox full of addresses. I look at like 300 to 400 addresses per month. So of those, I'm looking for the 2, 3, 4 gold mines. And so I'm just looking for gold mines today.
You just deep dive into that. Like, hey, what is this? Is this deal going to be good? Is it going to be bad?
Exactly.
And so you're like actually trying to predict it before you even gauge their level of motivation.
Well, no. I have somebody helping me out in the Philippines, and she's talking to every seller first before I get to him now. I was doing everything myself, so my day would literally be 10 straight hours of just 20-minute phone calls, 15-minute phone calls, just trying to gauge motivation. Now I have a filter in place where I'm not talking to the 10 or 12 a day. I'm talking to like 1 or 2 that the numbers look decent and there's some urgency there.
Who taught you that? Like, where did you pick that up at?
The filter?
Yes.
That honestly, I watched 2 podcasts with the guy from My Outdesk. I don't know if you've heard of them. Mm-hmm. Daniel Ramsey, I think is his name. Mitch Stephen had him on the show on Mitch's podcast, and then I also saw Daniel Ramsey being interviewed on what's it called, Brad Chandler Express Homebuyers podcast. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing way too much myself. I gotta focus on either actually closing the deals that are closable, or private money, or finding buyers. And but they run an amazing operation. They've got like 1,200 VAs.
How much do you pay that VA a month? Like where do you
$10 an hour?
How much?
$10 an hour.
How many hours a month though?
40.
Okay, so I mean that's not terrible.
Oh, I'm sorry, 40 a week. Hold on, what's that per month times 4?
$400 a week, $1,600.
Yeah.
I mean that's not bad. I mean it's I think it's great. Like I think it's a perfect way for somebody to scale. That's what I mean. Like getting their small team together. VAs. There's a guy Anton Campbell does VAs. I haven't consumed any of his content. I've seen very little conversations he's had about VAs, but he runs an entire business with VAs doing 90% of it.
I've heard about him. Yeah, I got to check his stuff out.
Daniel Chad Moore is somebody that built Propelio off of the VAs doing the list for him on the backside.
Huh.
So I mean, there's a ton of value in knowing when to hire a VA and knowing how to. I think it's interesting that whenever you put that filter in place, at least for your own personal business, now you're getting kind of motivation, getting more stingy with your time. I think it's
exactly it. Yeah.
And I think it's a neat process. Like I think what you do, and at least what I see whenever, like we're in the Cool Kids group and you drop a list in there for me to cold call. I mean, those are amazing. Like there's a very high level of motivation on all of those dead leads. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Every one of those would be a listing for somebody.
Yeah.
So,
and and there's a way to monetize that on the listing side. I haven't really pursued that just because that's like a full-time job, is to figure out, because it's all different markets. But
yeah, that's the biggest thing most people don't realize. Whenever we started buying junk houses, I thought I was going to take the stuff out of the houses and sell it. Oh man, yeah. I've got all this great inventory to sell on eBay, like Gary V. You know what I mean? I've sold one magazine for $15 the entire time, and then it made me realize something. One, I'm not organized enough to do this. Like I don't know where I put the stuff. If one of those Campbells, if something would have sold, you know what I mean, I'd have probably lost it by the time it sold if I'd have kept renewing the ads. You know what I mean?
Right.
Store it. But 2, it wasn't worth my time, like to even do it. Now, if there was somebody in the office that could do it, that'd be fine. We bring all the tools. We bring those and store those in our back office because we, rakes, hose, stuff that we're going to use that DJ's going to break and all that kind of stuff. We keep an inventory of that. But if it's not a tool that we can use fixing something or doing something, it goes to the dump, or we give it away at the house. I mean, we're cleaning out a house this weekend, and I mean, there's a dirt bike there. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm looking at the dirt bike out of the corner of my eye going, oh man,
Yeah.
here we go. Like, but now I know that I'm 35 and hadn't ridden a dirt bike in a long time. So even if I got the damn thing going, it's probably just going to cost me work when I break my collarbone on it or something.
Yeah, exactly. We had a house we were cleaning out in Joplin, Missouri, a few weeks ago, and the guy there, that was part of the deal. We're like, look, here's the all-in price for cleaning it out, but you can take everything in the house and sell it at your leisure. And he did. He made several $100s off of a refrigerator, off of there was a medical bed in there, and a bunch of other random stuff. And he made a lot. He just put it all on Facebook Marketplace, had people come to the house while he was working on it, and it's like, more power to you. So it was, but I didn't spend a moment of time on that.
Well, we used to do that too. I mean, now we got the dump trailer. I'm actually going to gather up guys after I get off the stream. I've got 3 guys lined up, taking 2 tractors over. We're buying a house on 26 acres, horse barn. We're going to have 2 weed eaters, a lawnmower, two tractors. We're going to be building a driveway, weed eating, cleaning it out, and hauling all the trash out all this weekend. We close on it on Friday. On Monday, it's going to be listed, and it's all hands on deck to get it done, because that deal will make about overall on that property, we'll make anywhere from 80 to 100 probably on it. And it's, it's a good property. Like it's a real strong property. The problem is it looks like hammered shit right now.
Yeah.
When you got the tools and equipment to go undo that, it's very much worth a weekend to go clean that up. You know what I mean? The only time we'll probably take off this weekend is whenever me and Jacob go watch the Aggie game, wherever we watch it at, and while the rest of the guys keep working.
When you're selling a house, remember you told me in the very beginning of the conversation, you kind of accidentally got owner finance buyers. You're like, well, I didn't.
Yep.
Were you marketing it as a retail listing or as like a flip to investors?
So we didn't know when we started this what we were doing. We didn't know wholesaling existed. My partner did, because he had listened to the Bigger Pockets podcast, but I didn't know anything about it. And so we would get a house, like, whenever we'd find a lead or something, we'd buy it, we'd close on it.
Okay.
And we would immediately start trying to sell it at a higher price than what we bought it for.
With no work, as is, right?
Yeah, with no work, as is, to different investors for wherever, you know what I mean? Like what it looked like. Well, we weren't putting it on MLS. That's how stupid we were. So we're doing this work ourselves because in our mind, we didn't want to pay a real estate agent. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Now I look back at it, I'm like, we were dumb. So, we close on it, and we have one that's still in our rental portfolio now that we just couldn't get sold. So we remodeled it and put a tenant in it. But that one was the same thing. People just kept coming to the house and being like, hey, I see the for sale sign in the yard. Would you own or finance it? I see the for sale sign in the yard. Would you rent it? You know what I mean? For us, we needed our money back out of it, so we didn't think we could own or finance it. But at that point, we didn't know we could hypothecate notes and do all the things that we can do now. But I mean, it just kind of showed itself. Our entire rental portfolio at the beginning was all of our collective misses that we couldn't sell.
Okay.
So we had bought them all for $10,000, $15,000, much like you had. And then when we got broke, we went to the bank and asked for a loan. Well, they loaned us like $80,000 or $100,000 more than we had in everything. And it was like, wait a second, what did we do there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What we didn't know at that time was we were completely over leveraged on that portfolio from a cash flow perspective. Because when we did that, we needed the money, so we obviously took it. But then maintenance and little stuff and vacancies were a huge expense for us at the beginning because we wouldn't pay attention to vacancies as much as we do now. So we, stuff would sit vacant, and then we get to the end of the year and it's like, hey, what do we make on our rentals? And like, oh, well, we lost $6,000.
Yeah.
How did that happen? He's like, well, you had 3 properties sit vacant for 8 months each.
Right.
Oh, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that's interesting. You are putting it into the MLS. Like, you feel like that's valuable enough to get it into the MLS on all of them.
Yes. Now when we buy them, I mean, we closed on 8 last month. We closed on 1 yesterday. We underwrite all of these as rental properties. Like, we're going to own them forever.
Right
off the top. We know that we have the ability to owner finance them. So we line that up. If we need to, we leave that avenue open. We don't advertise it as owner finance, but if owner finance offer comes, we consider it. and we list it on MLS, and we let the market tell us what it is. Now, the one thing that we're doing different now is we list it on MLS, and at the same time, we start running down the path of rental because we don't want to service the debt.
Okay.
We have enough experience on MLS to know that our buyer, a lot of times the buyers off MLS that are buying a little bit discounted, there's a little bit of equity there. We don't sell it at full retail. We're selling it at a discount. 90% of the time, that's an investor that comes and buys it. 90% of the time, he wants a buy and hold. You know what I mean? So that's it. Like, we put a tenant in. Now the tenant's servicing the debt. We leave it listed, and
you can still sell it as a turnkey.
We can still sell it as turnkey. They show up. They do their inspection. We sell it. The market is dictating what that property is. We're not servicing any debt. The tenant is servicing the debt. And if we get to a point where we need our private capital back, we call up the bank, call up our Visio, call up whatever lender we got, and say, hey, look, we want to refinance this portfolio. And we start the process of the refi. We get our private capital back, and we deploy it again. Much like you said you had more private capital than you could spend. And we have a large sum of private capital in the millions that we're rolling over every few months. So it's kind of a I don't want to say a painless business. Like, we still haven't received funds for a deal that we sold it a week ago. I was going to call the guy on live today, but he hasn't wired funds yet. Well, as soon as we knew that deal was closing, we took that private capital and we rolled it over onto another deal that we closed on yesterday. Well, the title company wouldn't partially fund it because that wasn't the way it was written up. Right. So we had to bring the difference to that closing, the $30,000 in difference to that closing of personal cash. And simply because we didn't communicate our intentions with the title company, we had to wire that $30,000 this morning. And now we're having to get that $30,000 back from another lender, which we're doing a transfer of deed of trust over to another lender to free up the original lender's capital that was going to fund this deal, because we're rolling his capital over on the next deal. You know what I mean? So you stack all that paperwork and you get all your ducks in a row, and then one thing falls out of whack, and then you're waiting on a shoe to drop. Well, you got to be flexible. You got to be able to bob and weave with that.
Right.
And poor Jacob, I mean, it's like, can anything just go perfect? Like, you know what I mean? Go like it's supposed to. Like, just once I want it to go.
That's what I realize is I know now, okay, there will be something's going to go wrong in every deal, multiple things. And the more that I plan for that, the less I get pissed off when it happens.
It's just real estate. Like, I was talking to Spoon about it last week. Felt like, it felt a lot more grave because we're still sorting through. We sold 2 of our mobile home parks, and neither one of those have closed yet.
Yeah. We
had a miscommunication in the title company on one of them.
Okay.
The title agent was just not communicating properly, not understanding, not reading emails, it looked like, because it was there in black and white.
Yeah.
But the person that was in that line of communication with us went to Canada on a fishing trip. So it wasn't caught. It was caught late in the game. The seller then thinks, or the original seller to us, because we're owner financing and letting somebody assume our mortgage. Well, the original seller was like, the paperwork's not done properly, and he was right. It wasn't done properly. But it was the title company's fault. We thought he was doing something nefarious. He wasn't. He thought we were doing something nefarious. We weren't. And the title company was in the middle and just wasn't reading the emails. And it was just a big clusterfuck. But unwinding that took 3 days and 4 people. And Jacob finally scrolled back on the email thread, and he's like, his lawyer is suggesting what we're trying to do right now. And we're saying, basically, his lawyer's saying we need to do this, and we're saying the exact same thing to the title agent. But the title agent was like, no, you can't do that. That's not right. Yeah. Whatever. And we're like, no, like, it's an assumption. Like, it's a fucking assumption. That's all it is. Like, we're taking the down payment. They're assuming the note, like, drop an assumption deed, you know what I mean? Like, you can do this. This is simple. But, finding that and getting it straight is, I mean, it takes a staff. It takes people, and it takes knowledge.
Have you had good success with Visio? I heard you say Visio earlier.
Visio is a lender that we use out of Austin.
Have you liked you? I have noticed that they, and I don't know this directly, but I've heard that they won't do deals under 75,000 appraised.
They will not. That's correct.
All right.
The advantage with Vizio is, I don't know how it works out, but basically you end up with the same appraiser every time. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, like, I mean, once, like, you're dealing with the same appraiser every single time. That consistency of working together helps a lot because, you know, I mean, he understands your model. He understands what you're going to do with it. You don't have to answer the same questions over and over again. They can move fast. It just works. You know what I mean? Like, they are by far the easiest loan we've ever gotten.
That's great.
So yeah, dude, and it makes it like this house we closed on yesterday here in Grosbeck. I mean, it's a monster house. It's going to be a Vizio loan. You know, it's going in our personal rental portfolio, 30-year AM, locked interest rate down around 6%, I think. That thing's on a cash flow. We're going to have $50,000 in debt on it, or maybe more, maybe 55, whatever it is. And, you know, we're not going to have any money in it. It's going to cash flow $300 or $400 a month. I mean, it's just going to be a beast-ass deal for us.
Very nice.
So, yeah, but that is the truth. But they are nationwide. You know what I mean? So
I know I've been looking into them a little bit. I just
well, you got them out of the Cool Kids group, right?
No, I think I got on their email list somehow like over a year ago, and then another friend of mine here in North Carolina told me about them, that he's been trying to use them on some of his deals, and but they don't work for my deals because they're too cheap.
It happens. I mean, there's a portfolio lender out of California that we're getting introduced to. You got to have a minimum loan amount of 50 or 500,000, but it don't matter what the underlying property's worth. They don't have any minimum. They got a 10-year prepay though, 30-year AM, 4.3% interest or something like that.
Yeah, great.
So,
wow.
I mean that you bring a big enough portfolio to them, it lowers your debt servicing considerably.
Okay.
So we're trying to get all of our single family, everything lined up to where we can go for that loan. I think our entire single family portfolio, I don't even know if it would go. No, it would. We probably got over $1 million in our personal portfolio of houses, of appraised houses. So if we get it on there, the problem is the 10-year prepay. You better be committed to it. You know what I mean? You better be wanting to own these, but it'll lower our debt service and it'll cut our debt service in half. So that's always worth it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, hey, think about Vegas. I want, like, really, 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 really want you there. I think you bring a ton of value. I think what you're doing all the way across the United States, the fact that you own one house in Wyoming and another in Kansas, and you live in North Carolina right now, is absolutely amazing. And
well, I'm trying to figure it out. It's easier to wholesale and nationwide than it is to own them. That I know, but I'll figure it out.
Well, people ask why we do what we do. It's because we solved that problem. We solved that property management issue.
Yeah.
And a ton of equity if you solve that issue.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a learning curve, and but no, I appreciate what you put out because it helps me a ton. There's so many little things you probably don't even realize that help lots of people. So I appreciate it.
Well, look, that's why we started doing the morning show. The morning show really is because I got to be here every morning. I got to drop Emery off at school, so I'm going to be here every morning. We'll do the morning show. I think some of the arguments that me and Witherspoon have in private, I like airing them because we go at it. But I think it helps people because we see things with a different prism, you know. And some people are like, "Man, I really see what Spoon's talking about. I see what Corey's talking about." There's no right or wrong. It's just a different way of looking at it. Just like the amount of action you need to take. Like, I feel like I hurt Spoon's feelings. I might have to send him. I don't know, gift certificate to get a chicken fried steak or something.
There you go. Smooth it over. No, he seemed fine.
Yeah, he is. But anyways, I appreciate it and really look for a sitter. I appreciate your time.
Same here. We'll look forward to talking next time.
All right, later.